So we got our pass. This is a river called Little Salmon. So what we're going to do, we're going to head down here. We're going to park.
Yep.
We're going to get everything ready. But basically, we're going to cross. We're going to cross this section of water,
Yep.
and then we're headed that way, up over that hill over there.
We're at the start of the trail, and we're just getting ready to cross here and get started on the footpath.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Here we are at the beginning of the trail. We're starting here at Big Salmon, which is marked right here on the map. And we're trying to get to Cradle Brook today, which Cradle Brook is right up here. It's looking about 12 kilometers along this path. And yeah, we're hoping for a great hike today. The weather's beautiful.
So 12 kilometers is a little misleading. There's a ton of elevation. That's the one
Yes.
thing you don't see on this. So we may be doing 12 kilometers as the crow flies or from a top-down point of view, but we have lots of hills to climb and lots of hills to go down.
Exactly.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Here we are at Big Salmon River. You can see it's a very big river and the water's running quite well today.
We're about a kilometer and a half into the trail. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's great.
We're near the ocean, but then we have this ahead of us. But that's basically a vertical descent, and we're going to start hitting some elevation.
So when your trekking poles really come in handy.
Definitely in handy. They come in handy for climbing.
Yes.
All right, let's
do it.
Let's do it. So we're about 2.5 kilometers in. So far, so good. It's been a warm day. We're making decent time. It's probably about another half hour until lunchtime.
Yep.
I don't know if we're going to make the spot we exactly think, so we're a tiny bit behind. But anyway, we'll see what we can do. If we have to go a little bit farther to have lunch, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's head back on the trail.
Okay.
So we're at Long Beach. We've come, I think, about 4.4K, but that doesn't include elevation.
That's right.
How you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm a little tired. My right knee is feeling kind of funny, but it's not hurting.
So I'm trying out new shoes, and you are too.
Yeah.
We're both wearing Hoka speed coats.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my first time using them. We've tried them around on other trails.
Yeah.
But what I'm finding is my feet flexibility isn't great, but I've been working on that a lot, and I'm finding that this trail is like using the limits of my foot mobility.
Yes.
And so my left ankle's, I'll just say, a little sore. Not debilitating, not that I can feel it. My knees are feeling pretty good. I mean, we're both wearing knee sleeves.
We are.
For those that don't know, knee sleeves are a great tool to help you go further and longer for hiking. Nobody else talks about it on the internet, and I don't know why, but we are both wearing knee sleeves. And right now, this is pretty good. And we're about to have lunch. So what are we having for lunch?
We are having ham and cheese sandwiches. You have mayonnaise, or you have mustard on yours, and I have mayonnaise on mine, with dill pickles as well.
And so, a couple of things with this is we find, like, for our lunches, like maybe the first day or two, we want sandwiches. But like these sandwiches only are good for so long, so we'll try to eat them on the first day. As we go longer, we'll use like drier food and stuff that's won't go bad.
Right.
And so we'll talk about that, I guess, maybe when I cook some supper tonight and breakfast tomorrow morning. But we got some pretty nice meals.
Yeah, and we also have a homemade high-protein bread as well for a little extra protein to help with our recovery.
Which we'll definitely need, because I'm feeling it. Like it's been challenging. I mean, this is our first major hike in 6 months.
Yeah.
And so I'm really feeling it. But the weather's good. I think it's a little bit overcast today, but it certainly is beautiful. What you see behind us is mean, we're in St. Martin's, but way, way off in the distance is Nova Scotia. So it's you can see on the other side today, so which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, before we go and we eat, we should talk about. So we're testing new gear. What? So we've already told you about the shoes, but we're also testing what?
A double Zenbivy sleep bed.
A double bed Zenbivy. So we'll test that out. We've also got the Lunch 1-2 Asta Gear.
Yep.
Actually, it's the Asta Gear Lunch 1-2. So that's the first time using that tent. We just seam sealed it and uploaded a video there last week. Any other things, or is that it? I think that's it.
I think that's pretty much it.
We've got some. We are trying like lighter hats and lighter gloves just to help us for hiking, just to go further. So rather than bigger toques, it's a thinner toque. We're using the Decathlon 4 stuff, hat and gloves. Very light.
It is.
And other than that, I think we're good.
I think so.
All right, let's get some lunch and then we'll hit the trail again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Awesome. So behind us is Dragon's Tooth. It's that big rock in the back. So the story behind Dragon's Tooth is 10 years ago, there was a big dragon in New Brunswick, and they killed it, and its tooth fell out of the sky and landed right there.
I like that story. I've never heard that before.
I didn't either. It's a very interesting story that not a lot of people have heard. But no, it's just a big rock that's there. It's got an odd shape to it. I mean, it could be just like any rock out there. We saw a lot of rocks with odd shapes along the way.
Yes, we have.
But I like my story better.
I like your story much better. I think that's the story we should tell the kids.
I think that's the story we're going to tell YouTube.
Yes.
So we have made it to Staley Beach. I am really looking forward to trying out our new tent.
Yes, me too.
So we've got the Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2. It's received a bit of feedback that it's sort of a mirror of a Durston.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not too big on that because like everything's a copy of everything.
Right.
So I mean, like nobody's created tents just out of the blues, you know. Like, you could trace back the iterations way back, right? Like as long as tents have been around. I mean, it is a breakthrough design, but even what I understand is Durston got its inspiration from someone else, even.
Right.
So, you know, do you beat up a company from getting its inspiration from someone else? I mean, I don't think they flat out copied it.
No,
and the only reason why I say that is there is differences.
Oh, there is, yeah.
I've seen both. So it's not a true copy, but they're definitely inspired from it.
Yes.
So the one thing I will say is the price is right.
It definitely is.
We paid $130 for our Durston, our tent. So it was about $190 Canadian for us to pick up an X Mid 2, not the Pro, but just the X Mid 2.
Yeah.
It's about $500 Canadian plus tax.
Yep.
So I mean, you're looking at $650. We paid $190. I mean,
the savings is huge.
I can't imagine that. You know, they're the same, similar material. I can't imagine there's 3 times the performance. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyway, we'll find out. Yep. We did the seam sealing, but should be good. We got to cross right here, so let's take a look. So at the moment, Melissa and I are looking for water, and you'll notice behind me there is some running water. What I will say is it's all running, so I would be safe taking basically filtering water from here. But I want to go further upstream, and the only reason why I say that, we're by the ocean. The chances are the pooling of salt in here is really high, and I don't want to be drinking brackish water. So I'm going to go, if I spin around here, I'm going to go further down the stream to where I can find some make sure it's higher elevation, just a little bit higher. And I'm not talking about too far, but just a little bit higher up to make sure there's no way that there's salt water or anything brackish in this. I will say, down this way, you can see the water sort of sitting flatter. You definitely don't want to sample from that. Right here is probably not bad, but still, I mean, if I can just walk 100 feet that way, why wouldn't I do it? Yeah. And so we want good, clean drinking water, not brackish stuff that's salty. And we'll test it as soon as we sample it, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I feel So if you'll notice behind me, there's actually some elevation drop and the water's running down. That's the type of water I want. I can guarantee there's no brackishness because nothing is sitting. It's all running downhill. So I'm going to get some water here. I'm assuming you're going to get some too, Melissa. We're going to fill up, and I'm probably going to carry half a liter. I don't know what you're going to carry. Melissa's going to carry a full liter, but anyway, I'll record us getting our water. Sealy Beach. We're going to connect onto the trail that was going to take us to Cradle Brook on the Fundy Footpath, but you got to look behind us right now. You're going to see a lot of things. So if I take a quick peek, you're going to notice we had a lot of elevation here. So the trail is mostly on top of these crests. There is, or maybe 3/4 of the way up of the trail. Like, we can't actually see any paths here, but the trail's not going to be so close to these rock walls where the rocks are sliding. It's not going to be that close. The trail's really a safe distance from all of the stuff, but it is there. You can see the water, you're aware of it. But I mean, Cradle Brook way over there, right? Or even the next point beyond. And so you've got to actually crest up over, and that's a lot of elevation to go up and over and down, up, over and down again, down to finally get there. And it's a lot of work.
It is, but worth it.
But worth it. So we think we still got about 4K left.
Yep.
That's a fair journey. So we've done about 2/3 of the way so far.
Yeah.
The day's beautiful. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And so far it's been fun to see everything and all the changes along the way. So I know the footpath has gotten new ownership. It's been the government of Brunswick, but so far everything looks great.
Looks awesome.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna hit the trail, and I guess in a little bit we're gonna talk about some of our. We'll pitch our new tent and set up our sleep systems, and we'll see how they work.
Yep, excellent. Let's get going.
Let's get going. So we finally made it.
We did.
The last 4K was a hard go. So we made it to Cradle Brook. So you can see Cradle Brook behind us. So it's a nice water stream. We'll take some pictures of where it exits into the ocean, but this is a beautiful little camping spot. So far, it's just a beautiful night. Can't wait to get some good food.
Yes.
We have good company, and hopefully get a great night's rest. So we're going to set up camp and
get to the evening.
Get to the evening, yeah. Sounds good. We're tired.
We are very tired.
Today we walked
15?
probably. I forget what.
I think you said 15 kilometers.
Today we walked 15 kilometers, which it's our first hike of the year, so we're a little tired. We are trying out the Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2. This is our third time pitching it. I don't know if we've got the hang of it yet, but it's been good this time. If you want to take a look in here, so there's a couple things that I like about it right now. Is it's pretty taut. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Basically, the Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2, it's really two tents. It's an outside shell and it's an inside shell. And so what we've done today, anyway, we've pitched each system separately to see if it's better, and I think overall it's pretty good. So the Asta Gear Yun Chuan 2 is pretty spacious. One thing you're going to notice in here, we're also running the dual bed Zenbivy, the dual. And so that's something we're testing out too. These are both new for us.
Yep.
We got them, we purchased them without our money just during Christmas season. And so we're trying them out. So far so good.
Yeah.
You know, I like this tent. I'm not going to say it's the easiest tent to pitch. We're still figuring that out, but I do like it. It is very spacious. But we'll figure that piece out. And as far as the Zenbivy double bed, I mean, setting it up was a breeze. Super easy. Something, to me, it's like, I don't know if you could live without it once you've tried it.
Yeah.
But we haven't even slept in it yet, but it's just amazing from everything we've seen. So that's all we're up to right now. Maybe we'll give you a better discussion tomorrow once we've slept in this stuff. We might be getting some rain tonight. It's getting a little chilly here, but so far so good. But if it rains, we'll test the tent out and the seam sealing and see how that works. We'll also hopefully have a great night's sleep.
Hopefully. I think we will.
All right. And then now we got to go clean up supper, which was absolutely delicious. The pad thai, and
Maybe have a cup of tea.
maybe have a cup of tea and chat and get ready for bed. We've got another 15 kilometers out, yes. And what I'm doing, I'm checking my toes here, and I can tell I've got something going on this side, and I've got something going on this side. Definitely right here is a hot spot. But what I want to do first is put on my knee sleeves to get those ready, and actually they provide my body with a little bit of warmth. So I'll put my knee sleeves on. Okay, so that's one thing. I'm going to change my socks as well. Before I do that, I am going to tape up my toes. So this is not rocket science. So what I got is just a Bic lighter here. Canada, big old Canada symbol on it. You can use Leukotape. I didn't bother to put Leukotape because this stuff works just as good. And it's just clear duct tape. You can use any type of tape. So I'll just peel off a piece, and basically what I'm trying to do is cover these inflamed areas with some tape, and I should be good to go if I do that. So here's a piece for me. Apparently I gotta cut the other side. And I just wrap it over my inflamed area of my toe, and my toe will be good to go after this.
I've got two going on, one up here, my big toe, and one right there. This one's bumped out already, but this one has not.
I'll give you your big toe. Are you doing both big toes?
Yeah, I think I'll do both big toes in that one little spot out bottom.
That's enough. So there's both big toes. And then we'll get your hot spot. And you don't really want to skimp on the hot spot.
Nope.
So I've got a bigger piece here. And if we need more, we've got more. But the good thing about this is price. It doesn't really cost anything. Mind you, I've used most of it up. We have Leukotape home.
Yes, we do.
I'll put some Leukotape on it. So So now your feet are protected. We put a sock over it to even add more protection. Actually, a fresh sock if you can.
Yes, I do have fresh socks in there, I think.
So I've got, you're putting on, what socks are you wearing?
I'm wearing Darn Tough.
Darn Tough. So I just wore my Darn Toughs, and they're excellent socks. I'm going to try these ones, though. So these are the Decathlon 4 Clouds. I do like the Decathlon, these socks. They're a thinner sock, and it's a... these are like the hiking socks, like, I don't know what they're called, 3/4?
Yeah, like something like that.
3/4 height or a quarter height. These are a full sock for me. But what I like about them is there's actually a left and a right. So, so they say it right here, left. This one's got a right, and there's a little bit of something in here, sawdust maybe. Anyhow, socks are changed. Feet are protected. Put my sock back on. And what? So we've had breakfast now. We're gonna do some cleanup.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about our tent and sleep system and the night we had. And then I think we're gonna get out of here. I think we get a long hike back.
Yeah, we do.
It's gotten colder. That's
colder.
unsurprising, or that's very surprising, because normally when the sun comes out it gets warmer. It's gotten chillier, so something's going on.
Yeah.
And we may have some rain ahead of us, but we're prepared. That's one good thing about it. We brought the right gear.
Yep.
Just in case of events like this. We didn't expect this, but
yeah.
So we slept in the Asta Gear last night. It was excellent. What did you think, Melissa?
It was great. Not lots of room.
Did we have any condensation?
None.
Lots of, yeah. So there was tons of room. Pockets were in a good spot. Like, I really like this tent. One thing I'm going to say though is, I know the similar tents you can stake it with 4 stakes. I actually believe it's possible. We used 10 stakes last night.
Yeah.
So this is the 3rd time we've just pitched it, but it's the first time we slept in it. But in the past, I was just sort of seeing how it sort of worked. But now I'm seeing it. This is really 2 tents in one when it's all said and done. And so the question is like, if you can get the outer tent up with 4 stakes, can you get the inner tent up with those same stakes? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to play around with that, I think. What did you think of the Zenbivy? So we had the Zenbivy Duo. What did you think of that?
It was awesome. I was not cold one bit. I actually took my socks off at one point because I was too warm.
Yeah, I loved it. It was comfortable. Like, it didn't feel like 2 people sleeping separate from each other. We felt like we're sleeping together. It was warm. Yeah, I thought it was a great sleeping system.
Yeah.
Well worth the money. Well worth having a dual quilt. So
Yeah.
totally worth it.
Yeah, worth the extra weight for sure.
So on that note, I think we're going to pack up the rest of this tent. We're going to head out of here.
Hey, this is Cradle Brook, where we stayed last night.
So what's the weather today is looking like?
Overcast and maybe some showers. I think I can see some fog rolling in from that direction.
Walking through it.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so we are at the top. What do you think?
Well, it took us 40 minutes to do 1 kilometer, basically up, what did you say, half a mountain?
Up about half a mountain.
Yeah.
It was a hard go up.
It was hard to go up. Feeling pretty good though. I mean, we got a good rest last night, and it is starting to rain, but that's okay because we're prepared for it. And yeah, we're gonna keep on trekking.
So we are heading down a steep incline right now. Some tricks for people that are going down steep inclines, especially if you have knee problems, is to just take smaller steps going down declines, I guess they are. But the idea here is if you take bigger steps, it's going to be harder on your knees. If you take smaller steps, it's easier. The other thing too, if you're using trekking poles, use those to your advantage. Basically, you can sort of absorb the cushion from your knee, or like the impact from your knee. You can sort of take it a bit in your shoulder and put the tension on the weight into the trekking poles. I mean, that's what they're designed for. But go slower, not faster down hills. It's counterintuitive, but it'll save your knees.
It will, for sure. We also have met a group of, 6 people trying to do the footpath. And there was a couple of people that were new to hiking. So they had gone out and bought some gear, and it looked to be very heavy. and it was hanging from their pack and swinging. So they were talking about how that weight was hard when they were climbing and going down hills and things. But the thing that, to remember when you're traveling with a group is if some people have heavier weighted things, or if you have extra space, then you can share gear. That is a good thing about traveling together. I know, like today, I have a little bit less because it was a tiring day yesterday, so Greg took a little bit more. But yeah, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, like, everyone's in their own situation where they have their own gear.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure we're not saying, we're against this person's gear.
No.
It's what they took. But it looked really heavy.
It did.
And there were 6 people. They were not working as a group. They were all walking at their own paces. I think that group could be a lot more successful if they just worked together. And like you said, there was equipment swinging off of packs and whatnot. He didn't have any hip belt either on his pack. It had been really heavy on his shoulders, but he wasn't getting any help from anyone.
Yeah.
I was looking around, and we were looking at what people had, right? And there were some like lighter packs, we'll say some 40-liter ones, who, maybe could have helped out with a little bit of weight.
Maybe.
It was sort of sad, but I hope they're successful.
I hope so too.
I will say they didn't travel together, but the very last group, the one with they were struggling a lot. I don't know if they'll be successful, but I hope so. Yeah. I hope it just gets easier. But I'll tell you, there's like, I think it was a tent hanging off them, sleep bags hanging, and they were just swinging.
Yeah.
And no hip belt, just off the shoulders, and that must be very challenging.
And the good thing about the trail we are on, there are certain exit points along the way if you did need to get out. So if they are really struggling, it's nice for them to know that there are spots that they could get out if they needed to. But hopefully that won't happen to them.
That's right. So we're near, we've passed the 10-kilometer mark. I think we're probably coming in on the 9 real quick. The beach is probably about 1 kilometer away. It's just down the bottom of this hill. And we'll head on down.
Yeah.
So we are back on Sealy Beach. So we just hiked out. Tell us the experience. So behind us, you're gonna see a few things. Melissa's gonna talk about it. What's going on there, Melissa?
So that's all of the elevation that we gained, 4 kilometers, and as you can see, it's a lot of elevation gain. Probably the hardest 4 kilometers that we've done on the Fundy Footpath. As well, we found out that the climb out of Cradle Brook is a black diamond part of the trail, and what that means, it's a very advanced level hike. So I was very proud that we were able to do that.
Well, we knew it was tough, right?
Yeah.
So we knew that, and we talked about it along the way. But yeah, once we found out it was black diamond, it was like, okay, I don't feel so bad now. But it was challenging. So a couple things behind us, like that. Behind us, we were in Cradle Brook. I believe the next corner, where you see the second jut up and out, I believe that is Little Salmon. And then there's obviously further up the footpath. Across the way, I'm pretty sure that's Chignecto, and so Chignecto's in Nova Scotia, and it is actually it's almost a sister site to the Fundy Trail. It's a beautiful trail. We're gonna hit it up and take some videos when we do it later on this summer. But that's one of our next trails that we're gonna hit. It's right across the bay. So we are heading back, and we're passing Dragon's Tooth here again. And you know what? It is pretty cool looking rock in the middle of nowhere. I know I said in the past that there's a bunch of good looking rocks, but there's this great big monstrous rock just sitting in the middle of nowhere. It is pretty neat.
Yeah, just teetering there.
Teetering?
Well, not teetering, but it's amazing how it's just sitting on this ledge and not falling.
And I mean, if we look around, we got some beautiful views right where we're at. Right along the Atlantic Ocean here in New Brunswick.
peanut butter and jam sandwich on high protein bread, so we have lots of calories, lots of protein for that last 3K of the hike, and it's supposed to be a little bit easier than the rest of it. But we're just finishing this up, and it's hard to believe we're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. So I know my body's, I'll say, a little tired. So we don't know exactly what we're going to do for recovery. So there's two options: electrolytes or ice cream. We're going to try to figure this out.
Wonder which we should go with.
Yeah, I wonder. All right, 3 more kilometers and we're out of here. So we made it back.
We did.
What'd you think?
It was a hard hike. Like, it was challenging. First hike of the big hike of the season. But I feel like our training helped. And I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm tired, of course. We just did, another 15K today to come out. And but the way out always seems to feel a little easier than the way in for whatever reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what about after? What are we going to do?
Well, we're trying to decide. Should we get ice cream or should we have electrolytes? So I guess, one will depend if the ice cream place is open. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
If not, we'll have electrolytes to recover. Well, I think that's it. So we'll post this video soon, and yeah, we'll see you.
See you on the next one.
See you on the next one.